Yo, what up, everybody? It's Slummy here, coming at you with another video. It's been a long fucking time, but hopefully now I can post more videos on a steady basis. So this week I'm going to give you my thoughts on the faction rally for Destiny 2's Season 2. Um, in case you missed it, I'll just be honest, you really didn't miss out on much. But there were some changes that I really did like, and I think they're heading into the right direction. So with that being said, I'll start out with the positives. My favorite thing for the faction rally was the fact that they made the faction armor somewhat relevant. So from what I hear, there was a glitch, and supposedly you were supposed to be able to buy armor pieces at the vendor, but that just did not happen. I don't know if that really is true, if it was a glitch or they really set it up that way. But basically, by equipping a full set of armor, you would get additional points towards your renown. And what is renown? I'll touch on that a little bit later, but at least it gave you something to grind for. Like, here's your reward. So I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to try to get tokens. I'm going to cash them in because I want this gear in order to increase my renown points. So the second system they introduced was this renown system. So basically, by killing world bosses, doing public events, doing patrols, you would obtain renown points. And the more renown points you get, up to 5, the harder the world was for you. So the whole concept is you're supposed to get 5 renown points, go loot a lost sector, and when you loot the lost sector and complete it, you'll get increased faction tokens, because those renown points were up to 5, and then it resets. You go back out in the world and you try to get your renown points up again. By equipping a full set of faction armor, you'll get 1 extra point of renown for completing an activity. So if a world boss gives you 2 points renown, if you have a full set of armor on, it would give you 3 points, which I really liked because it really did make armor relevant. And the renown system made the world more challenging. Lost sectors were not a breeze anymore. Basically, when your renown points went up, the enemies got harder, you took more damage, your weapons did less damage, and you don't revitalize your health. The only way to revitalize your health would be to either equip a weapon or an ability that allows you to recover health. I'm sorry. Or once you kill certain enemies, they'll drop health rifts on the ground and you have to run through them. So these two systems were really fun to use, and the rewards for hitting rank 50, I mean, the power level of the rewards were not great, but I am digging the shotgun because Dead Orbit won this week. That's what happens when you take the Graviton Lance, put the Catalyst down as a reward. Everybody's going to go for the Catalyst on the most gun used in the game, but I do like the shotgun. I am a big fan of like that normal style type of weapon in Destiny because we just don't see that a lot. So that was the good, and I feel like Bungie is moving in the right direction with this renown system for the faction rallies. Now the bad. For the renown system and the faction rallies, although I'm a big fan of the start, I think it could have been better. A good example of this is, for one, it didn't really benefit any PvP players whatsoever. You still got your general 5-point faction tokens for doing a PvP match. You really couldn't build up renown and then go into a PvP match to get additional points. Same with strikes. It's kind of like the strikes were almost pointless. You were better off just doing heroic events because even though you have 5 points renown going into a strike, it resets once you leave the zone and you don't get increased awards for completing it. So it still kind of came into the same old grind as the original faction rallies, and it did get really repetitive and made it seem like a very long process to hit level 50. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of farming in games, and this just got really repetitive, and I was starting to get really bored of it. And if it wasn't for the catalyst for the Graviton Lance as a reward, I probably would have stopped a long time ago. So I think for the renown points, I think this is a good system to start with, but I think it should be effective towards more activities in the game, not just lost sectors. I know they did it to prevent people just constantly grinding like lost sectors, but at the same time, I think they could have utilized it into the strikes more, the nightfalls, even the raids, PvP especially. They need to utilize some kind of system in there. Like if you play a PvP match and win with a full set of faction gear, you get increased faction tokens or something along those lines, or using only you know, faction weapons in PvP, you know, something cool like that. So and again, cashing in the tokens wasn't really rewarding because it still rewarded you power levels below your current power level, which I think they need to revamp that. I think if you're going to have a limited event, then I think the gear should be at least drop at the power level you're at or higher, maybe a little higher, just because this is a limited time event and it's not really giving, if you don't care about cosmetic items, people are not going to play it. Like some people are just going to say, well, it doesn't really benefit me, so I'm just not going to play it. So that was another quirk I had, is the rewards, although the armor and stuff looked okay, it wasn't the greatest, there's still no increase in power of doing it. The guns didn't really have like these insane perks that were must-haves. There was an exotic ornament for hitting rank 50, but again, it's just an ornament. So I don't know how much people even really care about the ornaments of the armor. Some like it, some don't. Another thing I had a problem with was going back to the lost sectors and still feeling like a grind. What I found as a solo player doing the renown point system is, for the amount of time it took me to beat a lost sector by myself with 5 renown points, I actually could have done 2 heroic public events just by loading out and loading in, and it would have gave me the same amount of tokens. Now, I don't think that's the case if you are a group player in Destiny. If you have a group of 3 people, building up your renown points to 5 and then doing a lost sector might be more beneficial because you have 2 other people. You could pretty much fly through a lost sector with 2 other people. And so I don't think it was really that much of a bad thing for people who roam in groups. For solo players, it still came into public events, grinding them out over and over and over again seemed to be the best way to get tokens. So that was one of my quirks with it. But overall, I did pretty much enjoy the experience up until about level 35. Then it got really repetitive and really boring for me. But I do think Bungie's moving in the right direction. And although I am doubtful that they're gonna do anything prior to the DLC to further increase the faction rallies, it is hopeful that maybe when the DLC drops, they will do something dramatic and utilize the renown system a little bit better across the game as opposed to across a couple of events. But overall, I did enjoy the experience. Again, it wasn't really too rewarding. Like I said, everything's pretty much cosmetic. All the guns and armor pretty much drop below my power level, so it's not like I got a boost in power. Again, armor is still pointless with the exception of having a full set during the faction rallies. So if you do have a full faction rally set, make sure you keep it, because when the next faction rally rolls around, you want to make sure to have it, because it seems like this is a system they're going to use moving forward, at least for this year. But I want to say thank everybody. Thank you for tuning into my video. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. Again, I'm changing my schedule up, so Wednesday mornings I'm going to run the flashpoints in Destiny 2. So I hope you guys tune in, come join the chat, say hi. Make sure you subscribe to the video. I will be posting more Destiny 2 content. The next video I'm hoping to have by the end of the week, I'll just showcase the rewards for the Dead Orbit victory and the Dead Orbit rewards for cashing in the tokens as well. So you could see if it's worth you grinding out for it. I'll also do gun comparisons now that they're revamping exotics and making them a lot of fun to use. But thank you all for tuning in. Again, make sure you hit subscribe, like the video. If you have a better way that you farm tokens, please post it in the comment below. Everybody have a good day.